How sometimes this thing doesn't record right away,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna give it 35 seconds, and then we're gonna go.
Okay.
All right, let's go. What is going on? You are watching and, of course, listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. This is episode 501, y'all. I am your host, Stevie, alongside my partner in crime, Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful this evening. It's lovely to see you, darling. As always, I can't wait to get into these hot topics tonight.
We've
Yes.
got a lot to get into,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We were going to have a special guest on tonight, Tommy Alexander. He's a OnlyFans social media influencer, and
hmm
sadly, I don't think he would mind us sharing with us that he got into a car accident. He is okay.
hmm
The boy he is dating is okay as well, because I was following that as well, and I'm so happy for them, and we wish them a speedy recovery. Uh, Tommy was going to talk about the red light district on the upcoming Vacaya, Mexico resort vacation in Puerto Vallarta that's coming up, and we just wish him a speedy recovery. So,
Right. Get well
yes.
soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And speaking of the 2023 Vacaya Mexico Resort Vacation coming up October 29th through November 5th in Puerto Vallarta, we have some news that is exciting that if you're considering going, some really great entertainment
I
that's going to
love
be
news.
joining the crew during that time. One of which I'm a big fan of, Cody, is Alec
hmm
Mapa. I love him.
I love him
Hello, Ugly
too.
Betty. Remember him on Ugly Betty?
Yes, I
Yeah,
love him. He's hilarious. What else has he been on? I need to Google
a
him
lot,
and
but
look
he's
up
also
some
a
more stuff.
comedian
Yes, yeah,
and
that's probably where I know him from, his stand-up, and I
stand up.
hope that he performs his stand-up.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's what he's doing. And so that's what's going to be great.
Fabulous.
Also, on the Vacaya Mexico Resort in Puerto Vallarta is Mama Tits. And I talked about
Ooh.
Mama Tits recently because she was at the Palace in Puerto Vallarta. I saw her earlier this year. Hilarious. Not just a drag performer with a mission, a drag performer that can actually sing as well. So you're talking full scale entertainment, and love Mama Tits.
Oh, I
Love the
can't wait to
name.
see the
Oh my
tits.
God, we are going to that show
Yes,
100%.
we
It's
are.
going to be so good. So
I'm
we
excited.
Yeah, so we want to let you know there's still enough time to get up to $200 off and join us. We're going to be live on November 1st, broadcasting this particular show, Tags Live, in front of a live audience, not just a virtual audience, but a live audience. And so we are really excited about that. I did a site check recently, and we are hoping to be on the Sky Deck there. So we want to
Ooh.
see some of you join us. It's going to be Halloween. It's going to be Dia de los Muertos. There's going to be parties every night, plus some of the entertainment that I listed, and so much more. Not to mention the Red Light District, which is on a tender boat away from the property that I can't wait to get on that. It's going to be so much fun. So you definitely want to check it out. Like I said, you can get up to $200 off, and all you got to use is our promo code tags TAGS at checkout. Go to
Yes.
tagspodcast.com and click on the Vacaya Mexico Resort Vacation in Puerto Vallarta, and at checkout TAGS, use our promo code up to $200 off. We want to see some of you there.
That's
It will
right.
be
Come
so
hang
much
out with us.
fun.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, we love it when you guys write back into us. And recently, the other day, we had an announcement to make about our new host that's joining, a newer host that's joining the show. We're not getting rid of anybody, but a brand new host, Teddy Alexis, who's going to be a regular host on Tags Podcast. And LA, sure, it's probably Lasher Boy 20. I was making
Okay.
him from LA. Lasher Boy 20 said,
Sounds
"Congrats
funky.
on the 500th episode, and wow, glad we will get more of Teddy Alexis too. I always love
Aw.
the humor and energy he brings."
That's right.
That's really
Love me
one of
some
the
Teddy.
reasons. Yeah, that's really one of the reasons why we brought him on is because he's just shown to be insightful, funny, and he has a heart, right, Cody?
It's a big, big heart, and he's so knowledgeable. So he has like almost a photographic memory. He's listened to every show. He's dissected everything that I have said and called me out on it. So he'll fit right in, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, there's a kind of a theme to the show because we're calling it Unapologetically Accepting Our Gay Sexuality, because you're going to see stories come in this particular episode
Hmm.
that relate to the unapologetically accepting of our gay sexuality. Now, you might question this next story because it actually comes from a senator on the Senate floor that GOP Senator John Kennedy was just on the Senate floor today talking about books and LGBTQ books and banning
Yes.
certain books. And the books he was talking about in particular, of course, they always have to go for the low hanging fruit and they have to find those things, Cody, that are going to raise eyebrows. The two books he was talking about were Gender Queer, and the other
Hmm.
book was All Boys Aren't Blue. We thought before we talk about that, you just need to hear from him. So let's play a little bit about what he said.
All boys aren't blue. And I will quote from it. I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All boys aren't blue.
There we are. Are we back?
Yes, we are back.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh my God. We had to play that because we couldn't just talk about what Senator Kennedy had said. You need to hear him read that. And first of all, if you were on that Senate floor hearing that with his accent and just a little bit about him, it's so cringe. Somebody else reading that it could actually be hot. But what were your first thoughts when you heard this? And then we'll discuss a little more.
Well, I'm so glad that you said that because despite General Palpatine reading that to me, yeah, I still kudos to the writer because I still got a little bit hot. I was still a little bit. I was like, "Oh, I got to go get this book. This is great." But yeah, is it just me or does he not know how to read? Kind of, sort of. He needs more books in his life because he needs to quit banning books because it doesn't sound to me like he knows how to read all the way. And
Right.
when I saw this, I died. This is pure performance art. It should be put in the Smithsonian. I feel like it should be saved forever and ever and ever. And this was hilarious to me. What did you think?
I agree. It was so cringe to me to hear him say this. I think I had my morning coffee hearing this,
Hmm.
and it was a lot to hear at 8 a.m. this morning, not to mention by this particular senator. And so it was just a lot. And of course, I just think they picked these low hanging fruit parts that it's not just this book, it's many books. The other book
Yes.
that they were talking about, like I said, is I have it here, Gender Queer, and
Hmm.
that's by Maya Kobabe. And Kobabe acknowledged that several of the book's graphic images may not be appropriate for elementary school children.
I
However,
do
the
agree
author
with that.
said the book's frank accounts are integral to showing readers an experience growing up outside of cisgender and heterosexual norms, adding that, quote, we need to reduce the shame about sex among teenagers. Also, she said, it's very hard to hear people say the book is not appropriate to young peoples when it's like, I was a young person for whom this book would have been not only appropriate, but so necessary. She then said, there are a lot of people who are questioning their gender, questioning their sexuality, and having a real hard time finding honest accounts of somebody else on the same journey. There are people for whom this is a vital and more whom this could maybe even be life-saving.
Yes.
Well, I think why we labeled this show Unapologetically Accepting Our Gay Sexuality is because you're going to see in stories later on that are questioning, why are we so having sex later on in life? Why are gay men so sexual in general? Why do we use terms like whore and slut amongst our friends and turn them around to be a positive thing? Well, I think it's because we didn't have examples at all. And I'm assuming, Kodi, like yourself, when you were in high school, if anything, we couldn't express ourselves at all, forget about sexuality. So I hear what Maya's saying. And while I think that maybe it's for a particular age group, because she does go into sort of graphic detail.
Yep.
Listen, the kids are talking about this stuff today. They were talking about it in the hetero world when I was a kid. It's just they weren't talking about gay stuff. They were talking about their own things. So if you think that they're not talking about this stuff, they are. And so I say put it out there, and not everyone needs to read it, but it could actually help.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If Euphoria has taught me anything, it's that kids are getting into more than you know that they are, especially teenagers. I agree with you that it's probably not appropriate for young children, but for teenagers, something like this could be life-saving, honestly. And honestly, this type of book, what they're trying to do, banning these books, is really impeding on our civil liberties as human beings in the United States of America. It's just wrong. And if they won't take books like To Kill a Mockingbird out of the libraries, which includes a rape scene, and Huck Finn, which includes the N-word in it, then why are they trying to keep LGBTQ plus books out of the libraries for young kids to affirm themselves? It's just not okay.
We could go on and on about the books that are being banned, and there was one in particular by Schuler Bylar. You might know Schuler is an American swimmer and the first openly transgender NCAA Division I swimmer. He is also the first publicly documented NCAA D1 transgender man to compete as a man in any sport. I think this is he has a book out also that's being banned. And I think the fact that he's a trans man, no one's complaining about him. I believe that I haven't heard of competing in sports where when it's a trans woman, they are complaining about that. That's a whole different topic that we don't have time to get into, but I just thought significant that their book is being banned as well. And we want to hear what you think about. I'm sure the comments are rolling in over that.
Yes.
Awful. Anything you want to read before I move on?
Oh, a bunch, actually. Malibu says he ordered the book on Amazon already. Khalid says Senator Foghorn Leghorn, which I think is hilarious. Shock the Crowdcast system. And Adrian says that he wants the book. And Doug says he bought the book already recently, and it's a good read so far. So we need to get into this book, Steve.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's get our book club going for the fall.
That's right.
Okay, well, we got to move on, and we definitely want to start to talk about some artists right now. I'm talking about Bad Bunny. We love a story that relates to something we've already talked about recently, and I'm talking about queerbaiting. Bad Bunny is addressing queerbaiting accusations over the way he's dressed recently, and in a recent Vanity Fair, he was asked about everything from his sex life, growing up in Puerto Rico, religion, acting, and more. And you know, Kodi, he's going to be in a new film with Gael Garcia Bernal that I'm super excited about. Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be hot.
One of my favorite actors of all time. And
yes, me too.
So, and I don't mind that they're playing gay. I'm all for it because they are really, I think, going to do an excellent job. Well, after mentioning that Bad Bunny had kissed his backup male dancer in a recent show and dressing the way he does, he was asked, do you think that you're queer baiting? He says, quote, I get an endless number of negative comments and sexist and homophobic ones without being homosexual for dressing like that. He said that maybe the queer person suffers more, but it is not like I put on a skirt and go out and they say, look how cool. They're going to attack me with all their force anyway. So apparently he's getting attacked for all this for dressing the way he wants to. But what he's really saying is you don't know the reasons why a person is wearing that. He added, you weren't in his mind when he decided to put on a skirt or a blouse. You don't know what's inside him, what's in his heart. Bad Bunny thinks that,
Senator Kennedy knows what's inside. I'm sorry, I couldn't let it go. So it just hit me, and I was like, oh, pow, yes. Okay, continue. I'll go ahead.
I just think for me, I love Bad Bunny so much. I think he's doing him. And I think I know so many gay men that do not have that fashion gene at all.
Okay.
That are pretty, in my mind, just pretty basic. And so I don't think that the gays, LGBTQ plus, get the fashion. We get to do, we don't own that. I think anybody can be a fashionista. And if we're assigning feminine and masculine traits to it, that's on us. I think, no, it's fashion. And fashion was meant to express. I've always, since I was a kid, I was talking to my mom the other day on Miami Vice back in the 80s. I donned a totally Miami Vice look. And I got my mom to buy me all of the accoutrement to make it like, I've always had a fashion side to myself. It's part of how I express myself. I think about what I'm going to wear. And I really think about it, and put it out there. Not every gay person or LGBTQ plus person does. What are your thoughts on this?
First of all, it's a missed opportunity that we didn't do Tubbs and Crockett, okay, for Halloween.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. But moving on to Bad Bunny, for me, it all comes down to intention. If Bad Bunny is being himself and standing in his truth, then I'm all for him dressing however he wants to dress. Bad Bunny is actually a supporter of our community. And I think that is where I kind of draw the line. If you support our community and you stand by our community and you defend our community, then do what you got to do. He kissed that backup singer to kind of open up people's minds about sexuality. And I think that is something that should be applauded. But it's the people that are taking our money and really don't support our community or secretly hate us as people and don't think we deserve to be out here living our lives in the world, that I think that I really have a problem with queer baiting us. So yeah, I think that Bad Bunny is totally just fine.
And I think at this point, because we're so divided, everybody in this country, and not even in this country, in the world right now, is so divided that we need to get rid of the queer baiting thing, because anybody that shows certain attributes, embraces one thing, is going to get called out on social media or online right now. So this idea of queer baiting, straight people are getting called out for it, for being allies, for showing their creativity that embraces maybe a flamboyant sense of lifestyle. Forget the queer baiting thing. Let's put that on the back burner right now, because I think we're so divided, and you're just going to get either side coming after you. And it's usually the right or conservatives coming after us. So
I totally agree. And at the end of the day, you don't know this man's sexuality or this person's sexuality. So stop trying to define them and stop trying to have your limited view of masculinity and femininity define somebody else. So let them be, let them live, unless they are actively opposing our community and taking our money as well.
Okay, moving on to music news again is Troye Sivan, who we love on this show. You know the song Rush, where it's taking up a storm all summer long. Well,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I love that song so much. He used poppers to get the perfect look for his Rush single cover, and he actually used the Rush poppers bottle
Mm.
to get inspiration. The cover art for Rush shows Sivan with a huge grin on his face as he has his face between the legs of a naked man. Now Sivan has revealed in a recent interview that he actually took a hit of poppers before the picture. I love that because if you look at that picture, we should have probably covered that picture and put it in the viewing, but I could put it up on TAGSPodcast.com. He says, if you go back, there's this tiny vein in my head, he said. It's my favorite part of the picture. His upcoming album, Something to Give Each Other, is set to drop October 13th, and it's described by Capitol Records as a celebration of sex, dance, sweat, community, queerness, love, and friendship. I like that. But according to Sivan, the album was inspired by a hookup. So I think all of this is great. What do you think about the fact that he took a hit of poppers before actually taking this picture? You know the picture I'm talking about.
Oh
It's
yeah.
hot. I did poppers recently, and when you're with somebody, and he says in the song, even if you're with somebody as a partner for quote unquote a lifelong romance, or it's the next 20 minutes, that connection that you have with that person, even if it's 25 minutes even, and let's just break it down here, it's a connection, and he's celebrating that. This is the theme of the show tonight.
Yeah, I love I love that he is speaking on connection and that he is really out here just promoting his sexuality and our gay lifestyle out here unapologetically, because I think that Troye Sivan is he can be a real force to be reckoned with out here. And the fact that that's some real method actor. The fact that he took a hit of poppers beforehand, I was like, that's some real commitment. I mean, what if I know if I took a hit of poppers before a picture, then it might be a little bit skewed. I might have one eye, both eyes looking the opposite
You and I did a
direction.
photo shoot recently for our upcoming podcast due out later this
Should we have taken
fall.
poppers?
No, I don't think we should have.
I don't
because
think so either.
We were working on keeping our age together. We needed all of our instincts and everything intact. But Troy's much younger, and I think he could get away with it. So
Yeah. I mean, it would have given me a headache. I would have probably been like, oy vey.
I love it. I love it. What are people saying so we can move on?
The people are saying, first of all, everybody agrees that we need a Miami Vice, me and you, Halloween costume, okay? And Bryce is here. Hi, Bryce. So if Bryce says, so if we use Troy's name, do we get a coupon code online for poppers? And Troye should look into that because he is giving these people free advertisement for sure.
Love it. Okay. Well, there is a brand new exhibit out here in New York City. I really want to see it. I think it sounds really awesome. Let's go. It's by artist Jonathan de Andrade. He is from Brazil. It's called Spark Eye, and it actually features all of underwear from his past sexcapades. So, yeah, 68 pairs of tighty-whities, bikini briefs, and boxers have been vacuum sealed, and they have been presented as if they were on sale at a store. Well, coincidentally, the entire collection can be all of yours for a mere $50,000. That basically comes out to $735 per piece of underwear, and it is. I think it's really kind of cool. Well, can you post that picture of the artist on, and we can talk a little bit more about him. So he says after being inspired by his ex-lover's cast-offs, Andrade bought a vacuum sealing machine and hopefully washed all the undergarments, according to this article.
Wait, that's me. I'm sorry. I put a picture of me up there. No.
Girl, I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm reading.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No.
So he says, quote, the piece gets a lot of attention. People ask a lot of questions like, did we have all these lovers? And Andrade, who essentially he doesn't really address that, but I am here for this. He said it's very much about desire and the gaze on the male body, is what he says. I like that idea, but a lot of people weren't surprised that he could have 68 pairs of underwear. But looking at him, I believe it. What do you think? I mean, he's kind of hot, right?
Oh, he's very hot. And I want to make it 69 because 69 is a really great number. And I think that he should probably make it to 69. I think that's totally fantastic. And I think that I want to volunteer as tribute because this is something that I totally love. I have an underwear fetish basically. And I have a bunch of underwear, maybe not a bunch, but a couple pairs from old past people that I have hooked up with. Either they left it or I took it. But I've also paid it forward and given underwear to people. And I think that it's totally fine. I think it's great as long as you pay it forward. And I think that this is a great exhibit that we definitely need to go see.
Yeah, let's go see it. Who in our community doesn't have not had a person over that left something, a pair of something? And it's always, I have pairs of underwear that I still wear to this day that somebody left, and I'm like, hey, it's part of my repertoire now. But I love that it's part of this theme tonight, unapologetically accepting our gay sexuality. I think it's part of the way we operate for many of us. And I just think to make it an exhibit is brilliant because it's that unapologetic, and it's really it's tongue in cheek, but it's also a look inside our gay sexuality that maybe doesn't exist in other parts, and I just love that. And so the one funny thing that brought to mind was, I think I talked about it, that I have a feet fetish, and I had a guy send me his socks from LA. I met him here. I think I talked about it recently, so it's sort of regurgitating a story. But I said, you need to work out and then send me your socks. And he worked out and went into the sauna for 2 weeks and said they're pretty rancid. And he put them in a bag and sent them off to me. You know how excited I was to open that package? And
Steve, really?
Yes. And it was this thing that we had together. He was so excited for me to open it. And listen, people have described poppers as dirty socks that is kind of the way it is. So my exhibit would be a whole rancid exhibit of a smell of rancid socks from my past sex capades.
Okay, do it.
Yeah. Hey, unapologetic.
Unapologetic. Do it. I say do it. I support you. I'm gonna buy a ticket, okay?
Just close your nostrils because you might not be really
know,
into
right?
it.
I'm gonna Febreze my body before I come through.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm here for that. I think it's really good. So
I definitely want to go see the exhibit because I think that it's totally interesting. And like you said, it's an insight into our gay culture. It really brings about how we are unapologetically ourselves and how we can be sexual and vibrant and save people's underwear. It's great.
Exactly. And you'll see as these stories continue to build, not maybe this next one, but how really when you weren't able to express yourself or you thought it was taboo as a kid to embrace your gay sexuality, maybe there's a reason why psychologically later on in life it's coming out. We are embracing terms like whore and slut, and we are a little bit more sexual because we weren't allowed to accept these things as in our adolescence. We didn't have examples. So that's kind of what this theme is going, and I think it's a larger conversation. And maybe we'll have it on our Patreon page
Ooh.
soon, which you can always support Tags Podcast, Talk About Gay Sex, now celebrating 6 years on our Patreon page. And you can do so by going to patreon.com/Tags Podcast. And when you do that, there's various tiers there, and we're going to be updating them soon. But you could grab a tier, and when you do that, you're actually celebrating, and you're actually supporting the show, Tags Podcast. And so it will keep us going strong, and we really appreciate it. So consider that. Okay, well, we got to move on because this next story talked about a dominant top who got called out, get this, for listening to Selena Gomez. Or is it Selena? I say Selena.
I think it's Selena, but you could say I lived for Selena.
So I say Selena, but
I feel
don't
like
even know who
that
she
is
really
the
is,
most
to be honest.
Latin.
But
You don't. I've watched Only Murders in the Building, and I love that show. Do you watch Only Murders in the Building?
it's cute. Oh, Steve Martin and Martin
Yes.
Short.
Martin
Yeah.
Short. Yeah,
I love that she's doing that. So a dom top got called out recently for listening to Selena Gomez at the gym, and other tops are rushing to his defense. Get this. So, we all love our music, and a recent Grindr interaction occurred, a viral post floating around the gay corners of X, Twitter. The offending artist in the case was Selena Gomez. And here's what happened. Okay, you have a dom top in your name, wrote a guy at the gym, but I could hear Selena Gomez blasting through your beats, said the apparent Grindr user in question. The stereotype here seems to be that tops and dom tops in particular are typically masculine and can enjoy pop music. Or is it just Selena Gomez? I don't know. Someone needs to write a rule book at this point, is what they wrote. I love this because music in our community is so important. And I was telling you in our meeting that if you just, most people probably think, oh my God, Steve just is like Madonna, Janet Jackson. And yes, I am.
Yeah.
I love those people. Lisa Stansfield, yes. But if you really were to scroll through my phone, you would see all these interesting artists that I have culminated throughout the years that I know so many people don't know about. I've been hanging out with a guy recently that loves country, and I don't really love country. And that's the joke between us. And he's played a couple songs, and I said, we talked about Dixon Dallas on this show, who talks about taking it up the ass and all that kind of stuff. And so Bussy and all this kind of stuff. So music is going through a whole thing right now with like Troye Sivan. We have so many more LGBTQ plus artists out there. I think we really don't know what people are really listening to, but I don't think we should shame people for what they're listening to and make it toxic masculinity just because you're hearing Britney, or in this case, Selena Gomez, or as you say, Selena.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I am just like you. I have a wide variety of music in my repertoire under my belt. I was just listening to a bunch of hip hop today, and 50
years
50 years, boo, But yeah, I think that this is it really sounds to me like he was the Grindr person was trying to be cute with somebody else and trying to grab their attention but it also could lean towards a little bit of toxic masculinity, because as a full-blown blouse, and I'm in my Mrs. Roper shirt today, so and so I know what a blouse is, and I think I could be defined as a dom top. And am I not supposed to listen to Queen Selena? I love a good hands to myself moment, because I had to look that up. I was laughing earlier because I had to Google Selena Gomez and her music.
Oh my God. And I have a friend who's visiting right now that's he's horrified.
But yeah, I was like, I don't know Selena, but I know plenty of other things that would necessarily qualify under the quote unquote dom top specific type music like Britney. I love Britney. I love Christina. I love
You
Kylie.
saw
Oh my God,
her.
I love
Okay, I love
Kylie.
Kylie. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So yeah, music is for everyone, and you shouldn't shame anybody for their listening preferences.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Anybody saying anything before we move on?
Yeah, Bryce says that what WTF is he supposed to listen to? And I said, right. And Callie that says nothing like a bop in the gym, no matter who it's by. And these songs are literally on the radio 24/7. You get addicted to them, unfortunately. And Selena Gomez, you know what? If she makes a bop, she makes a bop. And
I'm
Bryce
just going to
agrees with
shout
me.
out to Radio One, which is what
Okay.
I have on my phone, where I get all of my music from. It's a free app, y'all, and I get
Okay.
all of the latest dance music coming out this second. And so, yeah,
You put me
I'm
onto
just,
that. I really
I
enjoy
did.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got to talk. Are we moving on?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Let's move on to this story because you know, just to give you a little hint to where our new show that's going to drop this fall, this story maybe has a little insight into it. And it's talking about older gay men are more sexually active than older straight men. And it's a brand new story that was done in the UK recently that essentially says that the relationships between age and sex partner counts during Mpox outbreak in the UK and from the University of East Anglia was published in the journal, and essentially saying that when they did a study with hetero men and gay and women in general, that gay men are having more sex in their 70s and beyond than their hetero counterparts. We can talk about that and what that all means. Did that surprise you first when you heard that?
No, not at all. I think that as gay men, we live very sexual lives. And I think that as we age, I think that we start to explore more. I know that I personally have. I've started to explore more into my 40s because I am in my 40s right now. I don't know if people have gathered that, but I'm Gen X. So I have started to explore more and I have become more comfortable. I think it's about comfortability at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I've explored more and I've become more comfortable in my sexuality and trying new things and seeing what I really like and what really pleases me as a person. So I think it's and in your 70s, you finally, well, not finally, but that is when you have definitely hit your stride and you know what you like and what you don't like, and you continue to explore sexually. What do you think?
I think it's part of our culture that says that what we've been talking about on this entire theme show, unapologetically accepting our gay sexuality, because there's a recent story. Why do queer men have so much sex? Queer men have reclaimed the words like slut, whore as an accolade.
Hmm.
And for example, they reference a guy, Jared, a 24-year-old queer artist who lives in Bushwick. Okay, Kodi. He had his first
Hello, neighbor.
he had his first consensual sexual experience at 17 when he was still in high school. He met up with someone from Grindr who was approximately his age, and they hooked up at the back of the guy's car. And after being assaulted at 16, losing his virginity helped him gain back his confidence, and despite the physical pain, he recalls a deep sense of happiness. Quote, I feel empowered. I feel like a bad bitch. I had a lot of confidence, he told LGBTQ Nation. 7 years later, sex has grown to be an integral part of his life, something that has helped him grow confident with other people and himself, a way to feel sexy and desired. Growing up in a traditional Christian family, he was unable to express his attraction to other men, a common representation that, in his opinion, explains why sex is so essential for many queer men and gay men. Quote, we never got to fully be comfortable in our sexuality, in ourselves, he said. So now that we are adults, that's why we're such a hookup culture. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to pair these two stories up because I think this 24-year-old is really referencing the psychology of why we hook up so much, why we are confidently sex positive, why we go to bathhouses, why we are, unapologetic about our sexuality. And I think if you took a while to come out and if you were scrutinized for being who you were, if you were told that what you like is wrong for
Mm-hmm.
most of your adult life, then of course you're going to come out later at some point and you're going to be like, no, fuck that. I now deserve this.
Yes.
Sexuality is part of my life. I am reclaiming this. I'm reclaiming these words. And so that's why I think part of our community is we embrace sexuality. And I think sexuality and embracing sex should not be a bad thing at all. And it's just part of the culture that has said, ooh, we shouldn't have sex and ooh, don't talk about it. Well, we talk about it on this show. And
That's right.
I think it's beautiful that our community should be celebrated for being unapologetic about having sex.
I totally agree with you. First of all, I just want to say, why do queer men have so much sex? We're horny. Simple answer, point blank, period. And like you said, and like you mentioned, we wrote down probably almost the exact same thing. Reclaim. We are reclaiming something that we missed out on in our adolescence. From fear of being outside of the norm, the quote unquote norm, and being found out about our sexuality, we had to hide and really kind of make ourselves small. And now in our adulthood and into our 70s, clearly we are reclaiming that time that we missed during our adolescence and living our best lives and living out loud and living our lives to the fullest. And I think that is amazing. So,
okay, Maxine Waters.
I mean, I do my best. You know how I do.
I reclaim my time.
Reclaiming my time. We both said it. So when you said it, I was like, ooh, that's in my notes too. So,
yes.
Good job, babe.
Absolutely. We have so many stories we could talk about, and we have limited time. Where are we going, Kodi? Because
where are we going?
I know. How about the gay dudes recount the most desperate thing they've done?
I was just about to say that.
Okay, let's do this one. Okay, we're going to take a step backwards, but I think our answers are going to be showing how we're actually forward, because there was a recent Reddit thread that asked, gay dudes are recounting the most desperate thing they've done for the affection of straight guys. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. We've all had crushes. It was a recent conversation on the Reddit thread, Ask Gay Bros. We've all had those crushes throughout the years, and you get the point on this. I have, for the longest time, had crushes on straight guys, carried things on. I still enjoy that kind of relationship. I don't want to release some of my straight relationships that I have. The one that I'm thinking of more recently is my sister's. There's a condo owner where my sister resides, and he's a former chef. He's married. It's nothing more than I was by the barbecue with him recently, and we were like cooking up a storm, and it was just that bro thing going on. I do not want to have sex with this guy. I'm now in my 50s where I can actually have enjoy my time with my straight bros and enjoy it actually, and I really do welcome it. My former trainer, if you've ever met him, he's on our upcoming show. You've met him.
So amazing.
Yes, you see what I'm talking about. But the old me had like these aching hearts where I put myself in situations that were not good for myself. Did you ever have something like that?
You know what? And I feel like you're gonna call me out, but I feel like my truth is that I am I'm a huge proponent of reciprocity. So if you say you're straight, I am going to leave you alone, because I think that for me, a huge component of a relationship, whether it be one night, 25 minutes, like Troye Sivan said, or 2.5 years, is that you find me desirable as well. So I think that that is why I have not connected with a lot of straight guys in the past. That being said, I have, I have had crushes on straight guys before. I've actually kissed a straight guy with tongue and everything. And he had a girlfriend. It was like a dare. And but for me, I feel like the thing that was going on between the two of us was he was actually attracted to me. So in my mind, he was attracted to me. I have a really good friend that we vibe very well. And like you said, it's something about the bro thing that happens between two guys. And I know that he's completely straight. He has a wife and children and everything of that nature. But the vibe between the two of us, I don't think that I put myself in a compromising situation with him. But I do think that if he were to say, Kodi, would you want to hook up with me? I would be like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's complicated in a lot of ways, because I think we all want people to like us. We all want to put our best foot forward. We're all interesting in so many ways. And so, I don't want to only think that I only have female and gay friends. I want to be liked by all, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I have a Leo. I believe I have a Leo rising in me, and a Leo rising wants to be loved by all.
Yeah.
And so I'm always doing things with an audience of grande, right? And so I just always am. So I think that's where I've always had that like thing, but I've learned to enjoy that aspect of it, but scale it back so that I'm not putting myself in a situation where this person is never going to be interested in me. What are people saying, Kodi?
People are saying, Bryce is saying, same. Oh, well, Doug said first. Unfortunately, I didn't get to come out. I was outed by a family member when I was 18. And Bryce says same to that comment. He was outed at 16 and kicked out of the house by 17. And he paid a guy $25 in 2022 for a hug. Crazy. He knows, but it felt less lonely. Oh, that breaks my heart. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hug for free, Bryce.
I
pay
love
my
it.
rent. No, don't pay my rent. I'm just joking.
Okay. Well, we've got to move on. And recently on episode 500, we asked the question, what is something you thought was hot in theory, but turned out to be not in actual practice?
Yes.
And it was a Reddit thread, and one of the things I said was DP, double penetration, where I thought, you can listen to the episode, but I go into great detail on why it wasn't as hot as I thought. What did you say, Kodi?
I said 69 because 69 is too much work for me personally, and I need to focus.
I agreed with you.
You did. You and Teddy both agree with me. So I was happy about that.
Get rid of it.
Because I literally thought I was on Lonely Island, but you guys both agreed with me, and I loved it. So yeah, 69 is just too much work for me. So.
Well, we couldn't help it. This is such a perfect piggyback on a recent Reddit thread that asked the question, what is something you've never imagined would turn you on until it did? Well, let's just read a couple of things that people actually said in this. Guys who wear funny socks to the gym for some reason, it does something to me in a primal way. I thought that was funny. Someone licking my ears. I never have imagined that this act is very stimulating and that my ears are sensitive. Laughing out loud, probably the second best stimulation after coming for me. Come to think of it,
wow.
Cleaning the outer walls of my ears is weirdly arousing. I just chose to ignore it. worshiping, got to know a straight guy when I was out partying for my college and had to walk him home because he was extremely drunk. Ended up sleeping on the couch because I was too drunk to walk home. Morning after, we talked a lot, and he ended up letting me suck him at his own initiative. And before he laid down on the bed, he stood on the floor naked. My God, I have never wanted to touch and lick a man that much, just feeling his abs and arms.
That's hot.
Yeah. So, what is something you thought, what is something you never imagined would turn you on? But did?
So when you asked me this question earlier, I could not stop giggling in the phone. You were like, "What is going on with you over there?"
And
I
you
was like,
wouldn't
"Oh,
divulge.
I would not." Because I wanted it to be a surprise on the show. So the thing that first of all, I said that I would never do it, but it is peeing on
Never say
somebody.
never.
I know, right? So never say never. It is
Peeing on somebody?
Yes,
That's
because
oh my God, that's my thing.
it's
Wait,
your thing too. Shut up.
damn it.
But you know what? This is really authentic. We're bonding here, and I live for it because I think that it's something that I thought that I
You
would
just
not
stole my
enjoy.
thunder, so we're really
I
not
didn't.
bonding.
I didn't steal anything. We are connecting, boo. You are the love of my life. One of the loves of my life. Come on now. This
Okay,
is
turn it
us
down a bit
together.
and get to your point.
No, I really thought that I would not enjoy it because, of course, pee and all the things that go along with pee. But it's it's something about urinating on somebody that is kind of really sexy. It's something that makes you feel dominant. It makes you feel like you are really just
You just bought a
you have a lot of
brand new car.
you have a lot of power within you. Yes, like you took 2 hits of Rush poppers and you are doing the damn thing.
You just listened to a Troye Sivan song and you were walking in. No, I don't know. I'm making all this up.
No, and you were walking in nature and walking.
You were
and
walking
you
on
and you
sunshine.
killed a unicorn, and it was
Okay.
great.
Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead. Why do you feel like you peeing
So
on
mine is
somebody?
the same, but taking piss was something that I
Oh,
always thought,
so we're
oh,
different.
yeah, I guess we're different. Yeah, it's
We
the
are.
receiving end of it. I always thought urine, piss, water sports, oh, hell to the N to the O. But
Yep.
it really, actually, when I got into the BDSM culture, it was a part of it. And a lot of people that are into giving it drink a lot of water, they drink beer, and so it's like a lot of clear piss, if you will. Just bear
Okay.
with me here for a second. And so I have recently gotten into that. I think if it's a partner that I'm really into, I love drinking their piss, and
Oh.
and it's a whole interaction that goes on between the two of us. I've done it recently. Yeah, as you take a sip of your tea. Yeah, and it's
You gotta
something that I
stay
would have,
hydrated.
in a million years, I would have never thought, like, piss, urine, yuck. No, love it. And it's a part of my repertoire that I include.
It's a feather in your cap. Fabulous, darling. I love
Listen, and it's building. Bryce goes, watching us live, because of course we're live. Stevie, that's why your skin is glowing. I mean, I know. I was thinking the same thing too. Yeah, it wasn't that procedure I had in Puerto Vallarta. It's this. Doug says,
Exactly.
having sex somewhere you might get caught. Oh, wait, is that related to this?
Yes, that's related to this.
Okay, what does it say?
It says having sex somewhere you might get caught, like the school supply room during his senior year. It was oral, and I love having public sex. Whew. Yes, it's just yes for me all the way. I love public sex.
And that might be something that somebody thought would have been something that would have worked for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That turned you on in the end. So I think that's the part of our ever-growing sexuality, that you have to keep an open mind.
That's right.
And Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And
I literally have 2 things that I say I won't do, but everything else, talk to me, convince me. How about that?
I like it. All right. Well, it's time for our final segment, and it comes by Straight Up Gay Porn. And every week they ask the question, it's a recap. And this week it's 16 gay porn stars, and they're asking the question, who took the best photo? There were some good ones also in this week. I say this week because last week was pretty darn good. What did you think, Kodi, of the...
Oh, yes. I thought I knew who I was going to choose, but then Porter Westcott entered the chat, and I cannot resist a plump peach. And it is amazing, and I just want to eat it all up, scrumdiddlyumptious. It was, whew, he really did it for me. So that's who my vote goes to this week. And it's more than just his juicy ass, which is on full display in this mirror selfie. He's kind of turned to the side, and he has the most adorable face and kind eyes, which is very, very important. And a salt and pepper hair in his beard, like me,
Let's not get crazy.
And he looks like he's fresh out of the shower and smelling all delicious and yummy. So that's who my vote goes to this week. Who are you voting for this year? This week?
Well, first, I want to remind people that when you do vote, I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.com referencing episode 501. That, you know what? Thanks to Straight Up Gay Porn, because they produce this every week, and the person that does this every week. When you pick who you like, go to the end of it and actually click on your favorite winner, because it helps those that took these pictures. It's an actual competition. So please, I'm going to do this right now. Mine goes to Persian Wolf and Joey Mills. I like that he has a couple moments, because it's who took the best photo moment of the week. I went ahead and looked at Persian Wolf up, and he is sexy as fuck. Hairy and a thick cock, and he's a dominant top, and he likes to please his bottoms, and he likes to talk dirty. And it's the point of ecstasy where he's sitting on a couch with the bottom boy on top of him, taking that huge thick cock, and they are both in an ecstatic moment, taking it in, and I kind of want it on my screensaver because it's that hot.
It is very hot.
I want to have my morning coffee at 8 a.m. and look at this, at least for a week.
I say fine. I say do it. Do whatever makes you happy, darling. You're not hurting anybody.
And I just voted for them. Just to give you guys a little bit of insight, 10-inch top and Trevor Brooks are at number 1 right now at 17.71%. Zhao Lucas is right behind it. Who was yours, Kodi?
Mine was Porter Westcott. Where is he?
And where are you? Oh, it's down there, but hopefully you'll get up the votes. Let's see who Doug says 10-inch top and Trevor.
Mine is right after yours. What are you talking about?
Okay, no, I think I normally am in last place with these picks, so please. Zhao Lucas for me, says Bryce Smith. And you can continue to play this fun game and let us know what you think by going to TAGSPodcast.com, reference episode 501. Khalidad says, to honor our,
light-skinned
kings, it's a tie between Ozzy Dean and Zhao Lucas. Okay.
And Doug says 10-inch top and Trevor Brooks for him. So
awesome. We want to thank you all for watching us live, and we really appreciate it. This show gets repackaged tomorrow on Tags Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. And you know what? If you like the show, and we're assuming you do, leave us a rate and review us. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, because it will only help us. If you like what you hear, share the wealth with it. So leave us and rate us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we really appreciate it. You can always follow my co-host, Kodi. He's a life coach on Instagram at KMD Coaching, or his personal account at Mr. Maurice. Follow me on Instagram. I am _Steve V. Got to say it like that.
That's right.
Go to
Do
the
it.
show, TAGSPodcast.com. And Kodi, in the meantime, continue having hot
Hot
gay
gay
sex.
sex.